What's going on, everybody? Toby1 Shinobi here, and today I'm going to show you how to win 1v2's in Fortnite Zero Build, or really anytime you're down in numbers and against bad odds. So these tactics will apply for 1v3's and 1v4's as well. Now the way we're going to do this is I'm going to break down a bunch of 1v2 clips and show you all the tactics, strategies, and tricks that I'm using against these players to ultimately win the engagement. I hope this video is incredibly helpful for you. I know a lot of people have been commenting in my YouTube comments asking me to make this type of video, ask me how to win 1v2. So today I'm going to try to answer that to the best of my ability. Let's get into it. All right, so our first engagement, we are in a 1v2v2 here. We got two other teams here and myself, my teammates knocked, and we are on island. Chapter 5, Season 1, here we go. So I've got two enemies on this roof right here on island. I am marked as well, and there's also another team across the way kind of flying around. Now this team is very distracted by the fact that these guys are flying. I am crouched right now. I am using the element of surprise, and that is gonna be the first essential tip of 1v2's. Use the element of surprise. Right now, I have the element of surprise because these guys are distracted. I'm sneaking around, trying to get an angle on one of these guys. Boom. Cool. So easy 1v2 right there. So again, this guy was distracted. Just took advantage of that. Used the element of surprise on him. We're sneaking, so we're not showing our footsteps. He's clearly shooting at this guy, so this is totally a safe shot for me to take. Just make the fight easier for me because I got enemies in my bubble, my space, and I don't want enemies near me, so I'm gonna try to get rid of them while they're distracted. First guy goes down, and now I'm waiting for the second guy to take a peek at me. I'm kind of like watching this roof line, watching this right here as well, seeing if he'll poke over here. And now we start looking up. We got good crosshair placement right there. That is a really important skill to learn in all of Fortnite, is good crosshair placement. So you can see that I've already got my crosshair kind of close to where it needs to be. And as I zoom in, I move it onto him, pull the trigger, move to cover, and this guy's getting shot in the back, and it's just a problem for him. And we finished that. So that was a very easy 1v2 if you didn't call it that. First guy had no chance of fighting me. The second guy was just a 1v1 and he was getting shot in the back. So advantage was always in my favor right here. Now a lot of people would jump up here and just start looting, right? Just like be like lost in the sauce with all this loot. Notice how I only grab one medallion and the crown because it's right next to me, and then I am out because I know the other team is very close and I want to get to a spot where I can conceal myself, get hidden from the enemy, and make them look for me and try to get a jump on one of them, right? So here they come. Seeing footsteps. They're gonna expect me to be in this bush, I'm thinking. So I'm kind of hiding behind this tree thinking maybe they'll shoot the bush. They won't hit anything, and now they'll just, you know, think I'm not here. But I'm really not liking the fact that there are two people so close to me, right? Now this brings us to our second essential rule of 1v2's, and that is keeping people out of your personal space. We'll just call it distance to enemy. Distance to enemy is incredibly important in 1v2's, 1v3's, 1v4's. Basically, you do not want two enemies within 10 to 15 feet of you at any point in time. And you never want to enter a shotgun battle with one enemy in close range and another enemy coming in, right? So you always want to keep people out of your personal bubble, and you always want to take long range fights if you can, so that you can maintain a safe space from your enemy. Because if both of these guys get within reach of me, and I have a shotgun battle with one, we're going to trade a bunch of damage. I'm going to get hurt, and then the second guy is going to finish me with just a couple shots, right? So we don't want that. We want to get nice open space from people and try to separate them. So that is the next thing I'm going to do. I'm going to shock up, and I'm going to throw a shockwave down on these guys. I'm going to try to knock one off the island, maybe both of them, try to get some space, try to get them separated. And that's going to be rule number 3, is separate your enemies, right? So basically the idea is that we're turning a 1v2 into a series of 1v1s. Now that shock didn't hold, they didn't get knocked off the island, so I'm gonna go ahead and drop. Make them think that I dropped. They see the zipline audio, the visual audio, right? They think I'm on the ground right now, they know I'm on the ground, and now I'm gonna go for a rift. Just try to cause some confusion, try to split them up, right? Now I'm scouting right here. I see one guy here, but I don't see the other. Kind of looking around. And what I'm going to do is dive down off the edge of the island, because your glider height is going to go off of the lowest terrain under you, or the terrain under you. So I'm going to go for the lowest terrain so that I can kind of glide low here so they don't spray me out of the air. Okay, so you can see that this guy's jump padding right here, right? So that means that these two guys are separated right here. That's exactly what I want. I'm trying to get them to separate. Okay, so we're landed, and we think that we got these guys fairly separated, but I'm not loving the position I'm in because I don't have exits, right? I don't have really good options. If the other guy comes in really quick, where to go? If he lands above me right here, I'm in trouble if I'm fighting this guy, right? So I want to get to a spot where I can take kind of a series of 1v1s, right? Try to get them pushed to me individually and eliminate them one at a time. And there we go. So right there was just a series of 1v1s. I was using a few things to my advantage. First of all, element of surprise, right? We talked about that earlier. I surprised this guy by going into cover and then quickly coming out. Number two, we used that nice distance rule, right? Where if we miss the shot, we can still get away, right? So we aren't letting these guys get within our bubble. We're just gonna turn around, we're gonna take a shot, hope it works out, and then if it does, then we can continue the fight. Otherwise, we're gone. And number three, here's another rule, is make your enemy chase you. Anytime that your enemy is in like a 2v1 situation where they have numbers advantage and they're feeling good about things, they kind of let their guard down, right? And that's when you need to start looking for openings, because I know that these guys are W keying me. They're like, oh, this guy's running, he's by himself, oh, such an easy kill, let's just get together really quick, we're just gonna push this guy, right? The last thing they expect is for me to pop back out and take a shot at one of them, right? That's just kind of crazy in a 2v1, but that is the element of surprise, and they're both caught in a sprint and they're totally off guard. Neither of them have their gun out, they're just not ready for it, right? So that's an essential thing to learn, how to turn the odds there, right? And now we're in a 1v1 and this guy's caught in the air, so this fight's pretty much over because this guy was also W keying, thinking that the fight was pretty much over. He's in the air, he's in a sprint animation, no gun out. This is free tags. And there we go. He misses the jump pad, which is nice. And that is kind of the first 1v2 right there, right? Well, it looked like a lot of skill and there was like a nice shot in that, right? But the entire time in that fight, I was pretty under control. If anything went sideways, if anything went wrong right here, right? If this guy right here, if these guys started tagging me right here, I have shockwaves, I have a grapple, I can shockwave out of this building, I can get into cover really quick and shockwave out if things just go south, if things just go bad for me. And that is another really, really important part of 1v2s, 1v3s, 1v4s. If you want to start doing solo versus squads, you gotta have a lot of mobility because you need to keep that distance from your enemies, and you also need to be able to break away from a bad fight, right? So I'm carrying two things of mobility here because I know these rules here. If I get shocked on by these guys, I want to have more mobility than them so that I can keep running. I've got those 3 shocks, plus I got 4 grapples if things go bad. But things go well for us, so now let's move on to the next example here. Really quick, if you are enjoying this video, please consider smashing that like button, body slamming the subscribe button, and gently clicking the notification bell to get alerted every time I drop a new video. Thank you so much, my friend. Oh, and also consider using code TobyWanShinobi in your Fortnite item shop. It helps me more than you realize. Thank you. All right, so moving on to the next example, we're in another 1v2v2 situation. It's endgame, and what I'm looking for here is to third party the last fight, and that's just, you know, kind of basics. You just want to third party the last fight, but you also just want to maintain an advantage, right? So right here, I'm just watching from afar. I'm not taking any shots unless I see a really easy shot that's going to make a difference in the outcome of the fight. And what I'm noticing is this team seems to be at a fair advantage. This team's getting a lot of hurt on them, right? A lot of pain. So I'm going to take a nice little shot at this guy, get him hurt. I see one go down, right? And now I'm thinking I absolutely need to move in. This is my chance. And that is a huge important part of 2v1s. You got to take every opportunity you can to, you know, catch them off guard, right? So this guy just went down. These guys are fighting right now. This guy is out in the open by himself. And now we're just going to have a little 1v1 and we catch him when he's hurt. Easy, right? Not even a 1v1, really. That guy was just third party. Now this guy's coming out of storm. He just finished a fight and this is just my fight all day. I'm just going to play Storm, just back up, keep letting him take more pain in the Storm because I know it's going to be hitting hard, and I'm going to stay safe down here. If I had to fight this guy, I would just drop down below and I would just fight him from here, and that's just pretty much a guaranteed win because we didn't like rush in there and get crazy, and we just played good positioning. All right, so here's our next situation. We got a 2v2 right now, but my wife goes down in the fight. She goes down pretty early, but I do get a nice little angle on this guy, get him fairly hurt, and she got the other one pretty hurt as well. I could hear bullets being traded, so I felt like, hey, you know what? If I can split these guys up a little bit, I can actually just fight them using good movement and cover, and that's what we're going to do here. So this is going to be an important lesson on using cover and movement. Right now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to poke out, see if I can land some initial damage on this guy before he pushes in. So we get a little bit, right? Now notice the next thing we're doing is we're putting this wall to our right, and we're gonna start backpedaling. Look how I'm jumping backwards, right? And I'm fighting this guy, but I'm cutting the angle from his teammate. His teammate can't see me during this engagement. So I get a 1v1 right here. We take a decent amount of damage, and now we're thinking if we're gonna win this next fight, we definitely need to get mobile, right? Catch him off guard, do something unexpected. So we're gonna go ahead and get really, really mobile here. We're gonna jump into a slide, or we're gonna slide down this hill, and we're just gonna continue into a slide and just be spraying this guy as best we can with our shotgun, and he's gonna be totally taken off guard. Cool. And that's that. And now another team, I saw footsteps during that fight, so I'm instantly getting to cover. And now that is another big rule about 1v2s is oftentimes you're not going to just fight one team, right? You're going to have another team coming in. And this goes for solos, duos, trios, squads, whatever. You always want to get out of the danger area. As soon as you finish a fight, get out of there. Loot if you have time, but if you saw footsteps, or if you saw gunshots close by, you definitely want to just get out, get to cover, heal, and reassess the situation, right? So now I'm looking for the third party. I'm reloading, and we see him coming in. And here we go. He is out of my personal space, right? We're not close range. He's taken off guard right here. I have the element of surprise. I can knock this guy. His teammate's not watching me, so I'm gonna go ahead and go for it. You know, I waited until he got into a very precarious situation out in the open. Very easy for me to kill him without any cover, right? I will let him step out and make sure it was nice and easy. I didn't want him on the roof jumping around or anything like that. I let him step out here, and then we go, okay, game on. We spray him down, and now we're in a 1v1 with his teammate. And that's all it is, right? It's just a series of 1v1s. We go ahead and finish them because that's important. Also, when you have the opportunity to finish somebody and not let their teammate res them, that's always a good thing, unless you want to use them as bait. You know, unless you're at far range with the sniper, then it's okay sometimes to not thirst and then go for a different angle and get the headshot snipe on someone who's resing, right? That is another strategy, but oftentimes it's just better to just full thirst as soon as you can. So get the thirst, and now we're looking for his teammate here, and now we push up. And we're gonna go ahead and just kind of like shockwave play onto him, get some height. We're looking for him, and then we find him. We're gonna grab more shockwaves, and we're just gonna keep using these shocks against him. He pulls out a riot shield. We're gonna keep shockwaving. We just have tons of shockwaves. We want to get him away from us, or we want to catch him off guard, you know. We land a nice snipe here. And then he's going to throw some clingers at us, and we're just going to kind of just play that game, right? So we're just going to keep using movement right here and kill him. All right, now let's move to the next scenario here. It's another 1v2. Now, it looks like my wife is playing, but she's actually AFK right now. Our baby just woke up, so I was like, hey, can I finish this game? I'll just do a 1v2 and, you know, make a video out of it, right? So what we have here is I'm watching these guys from afar. I watched two guys run in. They just saw that fight finish with John Wick there, right? They start rolling in, and I'm just like watching from afar, right? We're going back to rule number one, element of surprise. So I'm letting somebody get real close, feel like they're safe, just running around, right? They've been open. They're running through the courtyard for a bit longer than they'd think they'd be able to if somebody was in the area. Now that's a really, really important tip right there, is make your enemy feel comfortable and get them within a killing range, right? Something where they're like, oh, I've been kind of running out in the open. And while you're watching them, just let them do their thing and get into a spot that's like, okay, now I've got the kill. Don't shoot at them premature. Don't show yourself premature, because then their guard's going to be up and they're going to know that you're in the area, right? So right now I'm just playing completely stealth, watching. All right, that guy's within kill range and is an easy target right now, going for this bounty board. Beautiful. Spray him down, and there we go. Now we just got a 1v1. And now we're doing the same thing with his teammate. We're like, hey, his teammate's gonna keep like trying to get the angle and be like, oh, well, did you get him hurt? Can I like finish him off? What's going on here? And then I'm gonna go ahead and catch his teammate slipping, and we landed a good like 120 something damage there. We're just gonna go ahead and put the pressure on him. And that was easy, right? Just a series of 1v1s. The first one wasn't even a 1v1. And again, 1v2s are not about taking the 1v2. It's all about taking a 1v1 and then another 1v1. It's all about that, right? And same with squads, same with trios. You just want to keep backing off, getting space, making them chase you, catching them by surprise, rinse and repeat, right? So right now, I'm doing the same thing, right? I'm in this situation where I see an enemy team, but I really want to line up that perfect shot, because if I take a shot early and I miss, then they know I'm here and I don't have the element of surprise and I can't get an easy knock, and then it really is a 2v1, right? And then I have to kind of like navigate this, and just it becomes this whole thing. If I can get a knock right away without anyone expecting it, that's a beautiful thing. So I'm just going to wait for this guy to stop moving. And now we see that he's getting a shot from another team. So if I push in there right now and I start getting knocks, then I'm going to have to deal with another team, possibly fighting the last guy of this team. It'd be an ugly thing, right? So I'd rather just have these guys push in, finish the fight. I'm going to go in, I'm going to move in with my car while they're distracted. They're in a fight, right? And then I'm going to try to catch one off guard. There we go. So now one guy's knocked on one team, and that was the last teammate of the other team, and now it's just a 1v1. So what do we do in a 1v1? We push up so they don't res, and we're trying to catch them off guard. There we go. We hop in this car. And if you've watched my car combat video, you know like all these little car tricks, right? This is just a simple get behind the car, enter it, pull out. He gets in my car, and now I'm going to spray him through the window, because that's one of the best moves you can do to somebody who's in your car. You just jump out, you just spray the passenger window and kill him. Pretty straightforward. And now another team's going to start shooting at me. So I want these medallions. I also just want to like see where they're at before I make any moves. I see one's behind that tree, and I think the other's behind the rock. And now I'm just kind of looking at my options, right? Kind of being hard to hit, but they did hit me. I'm just going to stay behind this cover. If they start spraying it out, notice I've got my shockwave out. I am ready to go. I'm hoping that they're going to start moving down this hill, right? Element of surprise. They wouldn't expect me to fight back here. They're kind of like looking for me. I think they probably know I'm behind this, but I'm just looking for them to be an easy target. Now here we go, back to crosshair placement here. Oh, that's actually pretty bad, but there's something about snipers. They like, I don't know why it pulled down there. I definitely put my sights near him. I don't know why it's pulling all the way up there. It's weird. That's bad crosshair placement, but it was actually good crosshair placement. Somehow that got messed up by the game code. I had my crosshairs roughly on this tree right here, right? Anyways, try to do good crosshair placement. There is a bug with the sniper for some reason. If it's like pointed in a certain direction, it just goes wherever your sniper's actually pointing, not where your crosshair is. Confusing, I know, but yeah. So we're trying to get a cheeky shot, and then we shoot one shot, and then we get right back to cover because we don't want to get headshotted. Now that right there was kind of dangerous, taking a second peek right there. He shot me again. I'm taking a third peek. I'm not loving this because I don't have a scope, and that guy probably does. I mean, he does have a scope, so I probably shouldn't have double peeked that. That is, you know, a risky move for sure. And now I'm thinking, okay, I'm really not like making any headway here. I'd rather just kind of like rotate out and let these guys chase me, right? Again, going back to the whole idea of like let the enemy chase you. Reposition, maybe you can catch them by surprise. I was hoping that they'd be running down the hill, caught in the open. Didn't get them to get caught in the open, so I'm just going to move out. They're putting shots on my truck, my vehicle, and vehicles are very, very good for 2v1 situations. Now, here's a mistake I made. I thought that I could ditch the truck, make it look like I drove into the field, and then come up behind this tree, but I see that this guy's already shocking in, and now I'm out, right? We're just trying to keep that nice distance, that nice little safe bubble that we talked about before. You want to keep them at a distance, and we want them to chase, but we don't want them to know exactly where we are, right? So this guy's coming in hot. He's by himself. It's exactly what we want. He's separated from his teammate. He ran, chased, right? Element surprise right there. He did not expect me to just be ready to fight him, and now his teammate is who knows where, just like forever away. So if you ever want to win in a 2v1 situation, when you've got two guys up, you always stick together, right? You hold hands. That's the best move you can do. Now with snipers in the game being so prevalent, it makes it a little different because if one person gets headshot sniped, it's 1v1, but still you have got much better odds if you go together and do not separate. I'm thinking his teammates near this truck. Not seeing it. And yeah, just looking for his teammate and just trying not to get headshot sniped, kind of. Also just moving around. I see that there's a gold shotgun right there. That looks nice. Pick that up and notice that I'm moving the whole time. I'm not being an easy target to hit. Looks like the guy got behind me. I'm gonna go ahead and drive out and get that nice distance from him. Let him chase if he wants to. Okay, so it looks like this might be a new team. I thought it was his teammate, but I'm seeing two guys now. I'm gonna go for a quick snipe on this guy. Finish him really quick. And now I got this guy chasing me. And again, we cannot be taking a close range fight. We'd absolutely die right there. So we're out with shockwaves. And again, we have so much mobility that like, it's very hard for them to deal with us. Now, I just got one of these guys down, and this is another important thing. Remember when I talked about baiting a res, right? I know that the first thing that this guy thinks when I leave is, oh, I'll go res my teammate, right? This guy left, he full left. What I wanna do is catch him slipping on a res and try to headshot snipe him when he is resing his teammate. So I'm looking for that. I'm looking for the res, not seeing it. And at this point, they're fully up. They probably have medallions. They're probably healed. And it's kind of like a reset. So I'm gonna play this cover for now. I'm hoping that he's hurt enough that I can finish him off. Now notice that I'm cutting the angle, right? This is a 1v1 gunfight right here. I'm just fighting one enemy at a time. I'm never letting two people see me at once. So again, going back to cutting angles and taking individual 1v1s. I'm not letting this guy shoot me. Boom, so we knocked one. And this time we get the thirst on this guy. The other guy that we thirsted earlier actually just got rezzed. And now I'm looking for that team behind me, just covering my back. And then I'm also looking for the guy crouching up on me. Now I heard footsteps, I believe. Element of surprise, right? He wouldn't think that I know that he's sneaking up, right? He thinks he's being sneaky. I'm gonna catch him slipping. Oh, we shot the tree though. But we still caught him, you know, in a dangerous spot, just out in the open. We had cover. So we pop out, we spray him a little bit, and then we get right back to cover because we're low on health. What he wouldn't really expect is for us to pop out again and take some more shots at him, right? Because if I let him get in my bubble, it's a very good chance he kills me with a shotgun. I'd rather just take the long range fight. It's probably what he doesn't want. So we take that, and now we are getting to cover because I know that that team just got rezzed. I'm gonna go ahead and move on because I need to get to zone. And that team actually got ahead here. This is actually further out in the video. I picked up a couple kills already. Now I'm coming into a fight, right? This is the last fight with that team that got rezzed and somebody else. And I see immediately that this guy's in this car right here. I'm looking at all this stuff. I see that guy in the car. And we're gonna go ahead and spray him out. Okay, cool. So now that fight's finished, and now we're in a 1v2. I look at it here, and now we're in a 1v2. That fight just finished. So my first thoughts right now are, one, I need to get in there as quickly as possible because they're probably hurt, but I'm at a pretty massive health disadvantage right here. So I wanna be really careful. So I'm thinking maybe I should grab that health pack, heal up, and then push in. So yeah, that's just the move we're gonna make because we don't want them to both spray me and have it just be over. I've got plenty of mobility if I need it to get in and out, and we're just gonna go for kind of a risky play. Push in. Okay, we're just reading for footsteps, right? So now we see 2 footsteps. Now this is going to be a lesson in basically reading radar and footsteps. I've got footsteps here, 2 people running around. Now I really need to pay close attention to those footsteps because I want to make sure that they don't get on my back and start shooting me in the back. I need to keep a wall between one of them, right? And then I want to try to get height and like a nice little angle on one of them, so I'm never fighting a 1v2. This guy starts shooting me a little bit. I go for a higher ground on this guy. This guy is behind me. It looks like he's coming around this corner. So I have very little time right now to shoot this guy. I'm reading this and I'm watching this guy, right? So I'm gonna go ahead and stick my right shoulder over this, get some shots where I can, and then I need to drop off because I know this guy's coming around on me. And there he is. He's jumping up the ramp. We drop down, and we're just trying to keep our head and our back away from this guy right now. So I try to get under this porta-fort, and now I need to shock out because I know that I'm gonna be in a 2v1 situation and that guy's in my bubble, right? I don't want people in my bubble. So we're gonna shock out, right? Get some distance because we do not want people in our bubble. And we know that we have one of these guys really hurt. So we're gonna go for him first and then spray down the second one. So that easy. I went in there knowing that I could get out with my shockwaves, right? And I was trying to take advantage of the fact that they had just finished a fight, catch them off guard, don't let them get set up, right? The element of surprise, and also use that nice distance, the bubble idea, right? Where I'm just fighting one guy and I'm trying not to get in a 2v1 where both of them are my bubble, or even one of them's in my bubble. I never really got into a dangerous spot right there where I was facing two guys at close range. So yeah, that's it, guys. I hope that was helpful. I hope that answered some questions. A lot of it is about the element of surprise, you know, making the enemy chase you, thinking that they're at an advantage, and then also like never letting people in your bubble, right? That distance thing, right? You got to keep the enemies at bay, keep them a nice distance, a nice safe distance, and try to turn the fight into a series of 1v1s. This can work in squads, trios, duos. Anytime you're down in the fight, you want to be using these same tactics. And always try to play cover. Try to stay near cover. If you're without cover, make sure you got mobility on you so that you can get back to cover immediately after finishing an enemy. All right, guys, I hope the video was helpful. If you want to see more videos like this, check out my must-watch playlist on my YouTube channel, as well as my Under the Hood series playlist on my YouTube channel, where I explain my gameplay just like this as I play. And yeah, if you really want to help me, you can do two things. One, you can leave a like on this video, and two, you can use code Toby1Shinobi in your Fortnite item shop. That stuff helps me so much. Thank you so much for watching. Have yourself a great day. Shinobi out.